Big Dash knows what?
Hello and welcome to Big Dash Knows. Big Dash knows what? New York Giants football. Let's go. We have some things to talk about. The season is over. Yes, it is. The New York Giants are the best of the worst teams in the league. Yes, but we have some things to talk about. 4 weeks left in the season. I was watching Hard Knocks last night and I saw a last dying effort from Mike Kafka to try to rally the troops to play these last 4 games. And I believe you get paid to play. You're a professional football player. You get paid to do a job. So you should be playing. But there's also some players that should not be playing. Go ahead and shut Dexter Lawrence down. Don't need to see him more hurt than he is right now. Make sure he gets the surgery in the offseason and he's ready to go next year. Tibbs, Kayvon Thibodeaux, he should be shut down, and with his shoulder issues and stuff like that, let's hold him off to next season. He might not want to do that because he's still in a contract year. Even though we picked up his 5th-year option, I'm pretty sure he might not want to play under that 5th-year option. So he might want to play to still prove that he is this guy, that he's worth more money. Okay, Tyrone Tracy, how's he doing? Should he be playing now? We got Eric Gray, we got Devin Singletary. That's not giving you guys a lot to hope for the last 4 games. But even with Tyrone Tracy, should he be shut down? You don't know. But I just want to talk about the New York Giants being the best of the worst teams in the league. And there's no moral victory in that. There's absolutely no moral victory. You are what your record says you are. And the New York Giants are 2-11 right now. And I watched Mike Kafka try to rally the troops on Hard Knocks, saying that he's going to help to put these guys in the best position to put whatever. But we already know what it is when it comes to Mike Kafka. He is in a interview process. He is trying to get this job. I don't think it's going to happen, but he's also trying to audition for other job openings around the league. Not necessarily just head coaching jobs, but also offensive coordinator jobs. Because we don't know who the head coach is going to be for the New York Giants, and there's no guarantee that he has a connection, or if Mike Kafka would like to come back as an offensive coordinator, when he's already been an interim head coach. But we'll see what happens with that. Maybe they pick the right person that really likes Kafka, and Kafka wants to come back, or there's no other job for Mike Kafka that he sees out there. Maybe he comes back, but I can't even worry about that. It is what it is. Burn the house down, build up a new house. At least you have some foundation. But this team needs to be built the right way. The best, worst team in the league. So we have been competitive in a lot of games with a lot of contenders. A lot of people that are in the playoffs, the New York Giants, were winning in those games against them in the 4th quarter. That's something that you can possibly hang your hat on. But again, there's only one winner at the end of the day. Everybody else is in 1st, 2nd, 3rd, or 4th place of being a loser. That's it. That's it. And the New York Giants right now hold possibly the number 1 overall pick in the draft. And that's like having a lottery ticket, like I said in the video yesterday. But there's so many things that need to be addressed when it comes to this New York Giants team. Not just the team, not just the roster, not just the players, but the organization as a whole. You're dealing with John Mara and his health issues. Do you really have a succession plan to John Mara if he's unable to do his duties? Not saying something happens to him. I'm praying and hoping for the best for John Mara. But if you cannot, perform your day-to-day operations of running the team of an owner, that succession plan has to be in place. Is it Chris Mara? Is it Timmy McDonald? I don't know who it's going to be, but they need to have somebody in place to run the show while John Mara is dealing with what he's dealing with. We don't know if this is going to be a couple of months, a couple of years of what he's going to be dealing with. We don't know for sure. He might need to step to the side or either step down permanently in order to battle what he's battling. And again, thoughts and prayers to John Mara. But we have to get the right people in place. And one of the things that I'm hearing is, especially when it comes to this coaching debate, you have some people that say you absolutely cannot hire another first-time head coach. You have to hire somebody with some head coaching experience. And that's an absolute lie. It's not true. What you need to do is hire the right person, whether they have head coaching experience in the NFL or not. You have to get the right person, because every time somebody says, well, look at the New York Giants and how many coordinators they picked and how they all failed. But when you look around the league, competent ownership, competent GMing, all the best coaches in the league right now are first-time head coaches with their original franchise. When you look at Mike Tomlin, when you look at Harbaugh, when you look at Shanahan, when you look at McVay, when you look at these guys, McDermott, first-time head coach. A lot of these guys are first-time head coaches. They just been in the role for a long time. So it's about picking the right person. Picking the right person for the job, no matter where they come from. Because we already know where Mike Tomlin came from. It's hard to try to find one of those guys. That might be a once-in-a-lifetime type of deal where you come from where Mike Tomlin came from, and that's nowhere. With the McVays and the Shanahans and those guys, they had success in their roles as coordinators prior to getting those jobs. But the whole point is you cannot isolate or get rid of an entire pool of coordinators because they don't have head coaching experience. And for some reason, because we've been bad at picking coaches, we get rid of those guys. It does not make sense to me. For the people that it makes sense to, please explain it to me a little bit better than what you guys have been doing. I respect the opinions. I just disagree with it. But there are so many holes right now for the New York Giants. Yesterday's video, I talk about contract money when it comes to Wan'Dale and his asking price, Jermaine Illuminor and his somewhat asking price, even though he really doesn't have a price or a range, but whoever the top or whatever the top right tackles make is pretty much what he wants to be making. So there really is a range. He didn't say there was a range, but there really is a range. The whole point is our GM, who still has a job, and people are still saying, give him another chance. Our GM is one of the main reasons why we are in the position that we are in right now. Some people say, well, nobody bats 1,000. Nobody's perfect. You got to learn from the mistakes. 4 free agency periods, 4 draft cycles, 4 seasons. And we still have all of these holes. Even a GM batting 300 would have the roster in a better position than what it is right now. Oh, the Brian Burns signing. That's a fantastic signing. That's a win. Guess what? That's what GMs are supposed to do, build a team. That's what that's his job. His job is to make the team better. Whether it's the type of coaches that he picks or the head coach that he picks, or the roster or the players that he picks for the squad. The whole point is that's the GM's job, is to make the team better, and the New York Giants are not better. We do have names. We do have, in the famous words of Joe Shane, we do have pieces, but we do not have a team after 4 seasons, 4 draft cycles, 4 free agency periods. And we're looking at the 2026 free agency period with all these guys from the 2022 class coming up and all these guys that we signed that are coming up for contracts. We are staring at a lack of depth still. We do have some quality starters, but we still lack in the depth. And it's not from like a lack of trying. He has tried. He's just failed. And some people just don't make it. Some people just are not good GMs. He might be a good football guy. He might be a good football scout. He might be a good, operations guy. Everybody wants to praise him for, bringing the analytics to the Giants. That's cool. But what about the team? What about the performance? What about the product on the field? And it's been trash. Simple as that. Simple as that. So now, instead of having backups ready to replace the guys that are going into free agency, guys like Wan'Dale, guys like Jermaine Illuminor, guys like Daniel Bellinger, Belton, McFadden, guys like all of these guys, instead of being able to have people already ready to take over, like all these other good teams that we've seen that have quality GMs and good rosters and good coaching, instead of having replacements already, we're going into this free agency period having to spend more money than we should have to bringing back C-level players. possibly some B-level players that we overvalue as Giants fans. I can admit that myself. I am guilty of overvaluing our players when you look at the market. I've also been guilty of undervaluing certain players as well, like a Wan'Dale Robinson. But I look at some of the money that these guys are asking for. The prices are not even bad. The prices are not even bad. Jermaine Illuminor being a top right tackle in the range of $18 to $20 million. That is the right price for Jermaine Illuminor. But the problem is it might not be the right price for the New York Giants. Same thing with Wan'Dale Robinson, asking for $13 million per, 53 on a 4-year contract. That's not bad money for Wan'Dale Robinson. But when you look at that situation and that money for the Giants, it might be a problem. So is the problem the players, or is the problem the New York Giants? My conclusion is the problem is the New York Giants. Certain things you can't change, right? There's certain things you cannot change. You can't change the ownership right now. You're stuck with the Mavericks, you're stuck with the Tishers, and you got 10% of the Coach family. Who knows what happens in the next couple of years? Maybe somebody gets an offer that they can't refuse on the Tish side, or maybe the Mavericks side, or maybe both of these guys get an offer that they can't refuse. Who knows? Maybe somebody wants to give you $15 billion for the New York Giants. $5 billion over, what the New York Giants are supposedly worth. Then maybe that's an offer that you can't refuse, but who knows, man? We know that the Mariners are a football family. Certain nephews, nieces, they build up to be football people. And who knows if they really want to give up their portion of the team. Again, a team that's been in the family for 100 years. Sometimes it's hard to just sell the family business. But when you've run your business into the ground, and I understand that the New York Giants are still trying to do something. We are getting better. We are the best of the worst teams in the league. It's not good enough. We're not relevant enough. Actually, we are very relevant as a laughingstock around the league. So what are we going to do? What are we going to do? How are we going to attack this season? I think the first thing that needs to happen, of course, is finishing the cleaning of the house. Go ahead and get rid of Joe Schoen and figure out where you want to move on from there. I will be doing a video in the future, most likely as soon as the season is over. I'm already doing the research on possible GM candidates. Of course, I've been doing research on possible head coach candidates, but I want to dig a little bit deeper. So as soon as this season is over, expect some of those videos along with all of the offseason stuff that I do with college prospects, mock drafts, and all that stuff. So if you're not subscribed to the channel, make sure you subscribe to the channel for that. If you want to see my ideas and other people's ideas, other analysts out there, who I read draft profiles outside of watching my own, 22 tape, if you're interested in that type of thing, you definitely don't want to miss any of those videos that I put out in the off season. But I'm just saying, for the New York Giants, there's a lot of things that need to happen. A lot of things that need to be done in order for this team to turn the corner. And we've been waiting a long time, a couple of decades to turn the corner. Fool's gold in 2022. This year, even though the offense has played better, the defense fell down. And that's the part that sucks. Is it as easy as just building up this defense and the offense, just building off of that? But what works for the New York Giants? What works for the personnel? Is it the 4-3 versus the 3-4? Is it some type of hybrid? Whatever needs to happen is get the right person in the building. Hopefully that person has the right coordinators in the building, and the New York Giants actually start to look like the Giants. And not this version of the Giants that everybody believes is the Giants right now. 4-time Super Bowl champs. You see it back. You see it behind me. 4-time Super Bowl champs. A rich history in bruising defense. We don't need to go back to the 80s and in the 90s and the early 2000s. We don't need to go back to that. We just need a new version and a rebrand of those New York Giants. That's it. It's easier said than done, but somebody got to put the work in. And as long as these New York Giants aren't doing what they're supposed to be doing, I will voice my opinion in that. But with that being said, I want to thank everybody for vibing with me. Please like, comment, and subscribe. And from one Giants fan to another, this is Big Dash Knows Big Blue Nation. Let's go.